my beauties and bees, and welcome to another episode of Bree's Bestiary, where we explore the world of famous and historical animals from the past and the present. Today we are going to be looking at a famous lion that wasn't. We are, of course, going to be looking at Leo the MGM lion, but Leo was recently retired and replaced with CGI. So let's first have a look at that and see what you guys think. After 64 years, the lion's being replaced. Leo was replaced due to high definition imagery that we needed for the lion. They've used the roaring lion intro for films since it was founded in 1924. It's been using the same lion footage since 1957, which is Leo. Yeah, so basically it's digitally remastering him, but that was from The Guardian. It's been a couple years ago since this happened, but there's some truths that we need to understand about the MGM lion, right? There's some things that are maybe, I guess, they may be well known now since there's been all these articles about it, but I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but let me expose this. I am proud to have worked with MGM Studio for the last 38 years as the audio designer for the logo that bears their name. Not that I was asked, mind you. I made this up as I went and didn't set out to change Leo or movie history or burst any bubbles, as you will see. In 1981, I was struggling to create creature voices for the film Poltergeist, specifically the closet monster that steals Carol and threatens her mom in the hallway. Here's the beast there. This one. We all remember this monster from Poltergeist. Taking a page from the Ben Burt playbook, I set about recording all manners of wild animals to use as acoustic fodder that I would later manipulate into other worldly vocalizations needed. I found myself renting time with animal trainers at Steve Martin's, not related to the comedian, working wildlife in action, CA to capture sounds from their big cats, including panthers, pumas, tigers, and lions. After about 8 hours standing and waiting and rolling a lot of big blank 1/4 tape, I recorded promising material that would make its way into the beast voice that graces the final film. However, before we got to that final mix, during an intervening temp mix for audio preview, I noticed that the music editor had placed the approved MGM Lion Roar Sound FX on the logo at the head of our movie. This was an audio track that was recorded and copied ad nauseum from its original optical sound recording made over 50 years ago. It had been passed down from movie to movie for generations, and it showed. It sounded awful. Remember, this was the early day of Dolby Stereo and high fidelity. Soundtracks were on my mind and many others. Its ability to provide a richer, wider range of aural experience began to show the flaws in traditional sound libraries and music recordings, and this old shoe was really showing its age. Something needed to be done. At the time, Richard Anderson, Stephen Hunter flick and I were attempting to set ourselves apart from the sound pack by dedicating ourselves to recording every sound in our films fresh and new. No Teddy old optical sound would fit in its way into our movie. The light bulb went off. Having just recorded lions for the closet beast and ignoring any sense of protocol and tradition, I saw an opportunity to rethink the icon sound and bring it into modern times. For 2 days, I edited the best takes together to manufacture a new, improved, I thought, MGM lion roar and presented it to Steven Spielberg at our final mix. He loved it. Poltergeist would become the first film to introduce Leo with a new voice in almost 50 years. Months later, the studios would ask me for the original print made on 35mm magnetic film, and I would make it the required audio master from then on to be used in all future MGM film released. That felt good. Truth be told, and it needs to be, the MGM lion then and now isn't exactly a lion. What I mean is, as I watched and listened to the original optical track frame by frame, it became patently clear, having just recorded Big Cats, that Leo's voice would be made completely from would be completely from sounds made by the King of the Jungle. I had learned that big cat vocabulary and discovered that lions, for all their ferocity, don't make the most terrifying sounds when they're showing their majestic teeth, bared open mouth, seen in the logo. No matter how much editing I did, I could not make my lion roar sync up with what I was seeing. Something was wrong. I would discover that, in fact, the sound that one would hear when a lion roars is something more akin to, my ears, a giant yawn. That awe-inspiring open-mouthed gape is actually accompanied by something sounding more like a beast that wants to take a nap. This, I thought, isn't going to inspire movie audiences the world round. Not that lions are incapable of making terrifying sounds. Just not when they're doing what we see in the logo. I was in a pickle. I felt it was treason not to use lion sounds, but they just didn't sound all that terrifying. So I substituted tiger roars. They sound bigger and more majestic. And that's the truth. And that's all I have to say about that. In 1995, MGM this time came to me to freshen up the audio for the logo I had made in 1982 to commemorate the Diamond Jubilee. We were just getting into the digital age, and 5.1 audio was standard issue for movie soundtracks, and my original was in stereo left-right format. So I recut the logo from the original material that I had recorded for Poltergeist, literally frame by frame, using digital tools. My first rethink of the roar was cut on analog 35mm magnetic perforated film. Ron Bartlett remixed it in 5.1 form from my re-edit to create a gorgeous sound that filled the theater instead of just from the central channel. In 2006, I was recreating again creature voices for a Korean-produced fantasy action called Dragon Wars. This time I had 20 or so creatures to design voices for. The panic set in. I knew I again needed a fresh audio palette to design these sounds from. The world had gone full digital in the intervening years, and I knew and never before seen or heard from creature to design. Time to get back into the field for more recording. Luckily, director Hyungo Rae Shim was a good friend with the curator of the Seoul Grand Park Zoo. He arranged for clearance for Mark Binder and I to have full access to all area passes to record whenever and however we wanted. We would spend weeks, we'd spend a week in Seoul trudging in and out of cages and sanctuaries, capturing an extraordinary palette of wildlife, including big cats. But it was the big cats we were after. In our favor were slightly more lax rules regarding how we might approach the animals and how the trainers could work with them to get the sound we needed. No animals were harmed nor abused, just teased. As you will see in the video below, the cages themselves were solid steel, allowing us to be safely within inches of the animals, unlike most traditional zoos where we are separated from a large moat, chain link fence, and a theme of good sound recording. Here is some video of Mark and I recording tigers in Seoul. Let's go watch that. See what that's all about. All right, so that was the first one. And then there was this one. That's a tiger. Definitely. I don't like these cages though, yeah. Hope they're living in these. What horrid cages are those? Hope they aren't living in those. These and many other wild animal recordings would provide fodder for design and become the basis for the Imugi and Baraki snake creature I designed in Dragon Wars. David Whitehead designed many other creatures in the film. 2 years later, in 2008, MGM came to me again to freshen up Leo yet one more time for its 75th anniversary celebration, where they were going to show off a new improved visual logo for the studio. Boy, did I have some great raw material to mine for this redesign. I used mostly tigers and a small amount of lions from the Dragon Wars recording. Recut the logo from raw material. It sounded stunning. So that's the newest lion roar you hear from the MGM lion. Let me pop over to the am I super quiet? Is it the wrong mic picking up? Please tell me I haven't been recording this with the wrong mic all day. No, it's got my USB mic on there. I do have my mic turned down a little bit though. Turned up all the way. Does that sound better? More like what you're used to? I had a short week, but now I'm bored. It says back. Hey, back. Good to see you. Short work week for me too. All right. So, yeah, that was the origin of that lion's roar, but tigers are sort of packing a secret weapon in their roar here. I tried to find a good, regular article to read about this, just to wrap this up, but we're going to talk about this. Researchers may have found the key to the intimidating and paralyzing effect that a tiger's roar has on animals, including humans. New research by bioacousticians shows that very low frequency sound may be the key. A tiger's intimidating roar has the power to paralyze the animal that hears it, and that even includes experienced human trainers. Elizabeth von Muggenthaler, a bioacoustician from the Fauna Communication Research Institute in North Carolina, presented her research at the Acoustical Society of America meeting in Newport Beach, California on December 7th. This is in 2020. Bioacoustics is the study of frequency or pitch sound and the duration of animal sounds to learn about the animal's behavior. At the meeting, von Muggenthaler discussed her work analyzing the frequency of tiger sounds to better understand the part of the tiger's roar that we can feel but can't hear. Why study something we can't hear? Humans can only hear some of the sounds that tigers use to communicate, said von Muggenthaler. Humans can hear frequencies from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, but whales, elephants, rhinos, and tigers can produce sounds below 20 hertz. This low-pitched sound, called infrasound, can travel long distance, permeating buildings, cutting through dense forests, and even passing through mountains. The lower frequency, the lower the frequency, the farther the distance the sound can travel. Scientists believe that infrasound is the missing link in studying tiger communication. In the first study of its kind, von Muggenthaler and her colleagues recorded every growl, hiss, chuff, and roar of 24 tigers at the Carnivore Preservation Trust in Pittsboro, North Carolina, and the Riverbanks Zoological Park in Columbia, South Carolina. Bioacousticians found the tigers can create sounds about 18 hertz, and when the tiger roars, it can create frequencies significantly below this. When the tiger roars, the sound will rattle and paralyze you, says von Muggenthaler. Although untested, we suspect that this is caused by low-frequency sounds and not the loudness of the sound. When the researchers play back a tape of recorded tiger sounds, including audible infrasound, the tigers appeared to react to these sounds. Sometimes they would roar and leap towards the speakers, and sometimes sneak away. The next step for von Muggenthaler is to take the recorded infrasound to scientists who can determine whether or not tigers can hear the infrasound. Von Muggenthaler hopes to learn more about tigers, protect them from extinction, and understand the unheard, paralyzing power of their roars. So just a fun little article there from Science Daily. And yeah, so thank you for sticking around for this little segment, this kind of new segment here for Bree's Bestiary. Hope you enjoyed this kind of kitty-heavy episode today. Lots of hybrid cats and tigers and kitties and glow-in-the-dark cats and roaring tigers and all that good stuff. I love kitties and hope you do too. Tiger was saying, is there wasn't bars, it would be my meal right now. Yeah, tigers don't like to be messed with. Okay, let me know if the sound's better too. I didn't know I sounded so distant today. I'll have to bump it up when I have to cut these too. That kind of sucks. But anyway, thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with me. Please remember to be kind and take care, and we'll see you next time. Seriously, guys, yeah, this has been quite a long episode. I don't know why it hasn't even been the full 3 hours yet, which is what it usually runs. But I feel like I've been at it forever. I don't know if it was the topics were just dragging or what. But like the little ghost boy in the painting feels like it's 1,000 years ago. Now it's noon, I guess. It's almost 12:30. But Usually the show, I'm like, oh man, we're going at 3 hours. I need to keep wrapping things up. And it's not even 3 hours yet. And I'm like, whoa. Anyway. Yeah. Well, seriously, guys, thank you for sticking around with me. It's been a fun one. Appreciate all of you, everybody who hung out and watched the show. And I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow when I do Creation Watch. I'm having Atheist Junior and Grayson on, so that should be an interesting journey to Tartaria, where we haven't been in a while. So yeah, much love, my beauties and bees. Again, be kind, take care, all that good stuff. Love ya. With caniformia, it's not just canines, not just dogs and foxes and wild dogs and that sort of thing. It's also bears, seals, and walruses. Mustelids, which include otters, skunks, badgers, and it also includes procyon, which is like raccoons, codimundus, all creatures of those groups. So that's on Team Caniformia, and on Team Feliformia is today's contestant, the hyena, but also obviously cats, big and small, and another group which includes civets, mongooses, and what else is in there? Binturongs. Yeah, Feliformia and Caniformia fill a lot of the same niches along that nice clean divide there, but Caniformia has definitely got the lead on the aquatic environment with the pinniped clades, true seals, sea lions, and walruses. They have conquered the ocean. So far, no cats have really, or I say cats, no feliforms have gone that far aquatic. I think jaguar is the most aquatic feliformias I can think of. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, also Feliformia. Fusas from Madagascar are on Team Feliformia. Yes, meerkats are feliforms as well. They're in the mongoose group. Meerkats with a K, yeah. But no, catfish are not in either clade. So carnivores split in half. It's feliforms went one way, and then caniforms went one way. So just think of it as a tree that's caniforms splitting at the. They used to put it at the miacid level, which was this really basal, kind of looked like, I don't know if you all know what a ringtail cat is. They are very basal looking procyonids. Procyonids is the family that raccoons and codimundus are in. They're dogs. They're caniforms with nimble little hands is their main thing. But the ringtail cat is very specific and very distinct in its characteristics. Now, yeah, miacid they are little animals that they have long tails and very. What we call basal characteristics of both feliforms and caniforms. Caniforms and feliforms are both kind of known for their scent glands and the way that they communicate with scent marking and secretions. So that is a way that we distinguish the two groups too. Is by the way that they use their scent markings and which glands are prominent and such. So that's something to keep in mind too when you're trying to decide if that's a cat or that's a dog, or if that's a feliform or that's a caniform. How does it want to scent mark you? Anyway, they all want to rub their head on you. They all got that scent gland up there that's marking you as theirs.